Part of my role as Chief Executive of Mayo County Council is to help build a county which is age-friendly. And by age-friendly, we mean a county which listens to, hears the concerns and the initiatives, the ideas of older people, and responds to them and modifies the work which we do to take account of those needs and desires. The Age-Friendly Alliance is a collaboration of all of the service providers and the agencies who work with older people, and we meet on a regular basis. We've put together an age-friendly strategy for the county. We're one of the early movers in that regard, and it's partly about recognising that our age profile is increasing, particularly in the west of Ireland. People are living longer, and that retirement is not, as it used to be once upon a time, sailing off into the sunset. Older years are now very active years, they're very productive years. Older people have a huge contribution to make to our society, and the Age Friendly Alliance is about getting the best out of both the resource which older people are and making the county a better place for them to live.
Mayo launched its Age Friendly strategy in 2016. Central to the strategy is the older people in the county. They were consulted on the strategy, and all of the actions in it are actions that older people asked us to have addressed. These actions include looking at our public realm, our public buildings. Are they accessible? Are they age friendly? It also includes actions in relation to transport. Have we a good transport system, and what are the issues that need to be dealt with in that regard? It also looks at housing. Issues also come up in relation to security of housing, which the Gardaí are very much involved in. Another area that the older people asked us to look at was working with younger people. We've undertaken a number of projects with Corlin and Og in terms of dealing with the issues around concepts of ageing and the preconceptions that people have of ageing.
Yes, we had a skills sharing day with the Older People's Council over in St. Joseph's, and we done a presentation to them about the use of their phones, so ways to make it easier for them to use their phones by making the text size bigger and by showing them different ways to connect to Wi-Fi. Each Querla member was paired up with a older council member, and that way we were able to do one-on-one with them, which meant it was easier for them to learn and easier for us to teach. And then after that we had lunch with them, so that just meant we got to talk to them and just got to know their experiences of like living in rural Ireland. And also they done a skill sharing where they showed us different things. So they played cards with us, showed us how to knit, crochet, and how to make soda bread. I enjoy talking to the older council members because we were able to just see how different our lives were from then and now, and just share experiences.
My experience with the OPC was them showing me how to do crochet, which is a skill I've never actually learned before, and I thought it was really interesting. And I was helping them with learning how to play with the PlayStation and FIFA. They were like playing the game FIFA on it, and they really, really liked it. And they thought they got a great kick out of it, so they all had a good time, I think. And at the end of the whole thing, I think we all agreed that we'd love to do it again.
The Older Persons Council was instituted by the World Health Organization throughout the world to deal with the ageing population, which, as you know, is increasing. Mayo County Council set up the Older People's Council in 2016. The remit of the Older People's Council is to listen to the problems of older people. We don't aim to solve them, but we want to put them in the right direction to get the help and assistance they need. We have probably about 12 to 14 people, all volunteers, all over the age of 55. And we're always happy to have new members come and join us. But we have representatives from the Mayo County Council who keep us in order. We meet about every 4 to 6 weeks. And today we're meeting to learn about climate change. And we've got a guest speaker, Laura Dixon, who is the Climate Change Officer for Mayo County Council. And by the end of the day, we hope to know what we're going to do, and we will hope to contribute greatly to this project.
I'm a member of Mayo OPC, which is Older Persons Councils. And at one of our meetings, we were discussing doing a walkability study of certain parts of the county, and the airport was mentioned. So last summer we came out here with a team of 12 people They were older persons. There was a person in a wheelchair, and there was a visually impaired person, and a mother with a baby in a buggy. We spotted different points that could be changed. We mentioned that there was a need for a lot of seating for the older people to sit at. So they have taken that on board, and they have supplied lots and lots of seating, extra seating. There's a PRM point where customers can have wheelchairs or assistance. So they have made a new little area where their wheelchairs are stored, and there's extra seating there as well. Because of our recommendations from the OPC to the airport, the management have taken on board a lot of our recommendations, and it is going to be the first airport in the world to be designed as age-friendly, which will be a really good coup for this country.
The Older Persons Council approached us last year in 2018 to complete a walkability study here at the airport. So anyways, through the walkability study, we escorted them through the airport. Basically was for their feedback, what they would recommend, areas that we could improve, because who better knows but the Older Persons Council themselves. So anyways, we have been meeting with them since on a regular basis, and we have taken on board their recommendations, and a few of the recommendations that has come from the walkability study will be extra seating area. So we have introduced more seating area here across from the airport information point, which is also our customer service base. Departures area has been upgraded, where we had 3 to 4 seats, as we're now down there we have about 14 seats. But we are delighted. We're going to continuously work with the Older Persons Council and meet with them, and we want to constantly improve our facilities and services here at the airport. And also the other side of it is the guidelines in place. It's a fantastic achievement for the airport. It is, as we will be the first airport in the world. We will have received this. And look, it's an achievement for the airport, for staff, for the recognition of the work that has been put in. The customer service team are fantastic here. Everyone works well together. And I do think it is very important that these guidelines that are in place are going to be guidelines set for every airport in the world. So we'll continue to work with them and hopefully continually improving their facilities and their services here at the airport.
The idea for this project came up at one of our older people's council meetings. We decided that it would be appropriate to have some parking for the elderly, not necessarily with a very big handicap, but just somebody that has a bad knee or a bad ankle. So we spoke with John Page, who's the manager of SuperValue in Castlebar, and he said he would look into it. So we followed it up with him, and there we are. We have 2 spaces, very well used by the appropriate age group, and it's very successful.
So members of the Older People's Council contacted me here a number of months ago and suggested the idea of older people's parking to me. And to be honest, it caught me by surprise. It wasn't something I was aware of, but more and more people started asking me then. They got together obviously and tried to convince me over a period of time of the merits of it. So I thought about it, and I took the view that we're a community-based organisation. We're very much involved in the community through Tidy Towns, through the GAA, and through lots of other activities and organisations that we work and partner with for the betterment of our community. And this kind of seemed to fit in with that ethos. So we took a chance, and I worked with Mary in the council, and we got 3 parking spaces. I initially started with 2 because that's what was requested. But 2 weeks after I putting in the 2 car parking spaces, there was such demand that I put in a 3rd. It's been hugely successful, and it's something that I would encourage any business that's considering it, that has a car park of such a size like ours or bigger, to run with the idea. The overwhelming response has been positive.
We welcome this initiative here, providing age-friendly parking for the people of Mayo and also for people who visit it, who they can come to SuperValue here and have a dedicated age-friendly parking space close to the shops. This is an initiative we would like to see rolled out throughout the county, through Mayo County Council's car parks and also through the private car parks. And again, we have to applaud SuperValue for leading the way in providing these age-friendly parking spaces.
The Community Policing Unit here in Castlebar was formed at the start of April of this year, and our main role is working with all different communities within the Castlebar community. And one of the communities that we work very closely with is the senior citizen community, And we regularly call here to the Social Services Centre here in Castle Street here in Castlebar, where we talk to the senior citizens in relation to crime prevention advice and different topics like that. Also, another role that we carry out in relation to the senior citizens of Castlebar, especially people living in rural areas, is in relation to the weather warnings that frequently come in now in the winter time. If we would get a severe weather warning coming, then we would call out before the warning, so we would make sure that the people at home would maybe have enough food, enough fuel in the house to get them through the storm or whatever. We would also offer the person, if they wish to move, that we would move them to maybe a family, friend or neighbour's house until the weather alert would pass over. As soon as the weather alert has passed over, then we immediately will be back out to check up on the people to make sure that everything is okay and that they have got through the storm safe and sound and things are back to normal again.